Right. So yesterday we covered the Now platform user interface, right? We talked about three user interface. One is the native GUI, which is open right now in front of you. Second one was mobile apps, and we talked about it. There were three mobile apps: Agent, Now Mobile, and Onboarding. All of three mobile apps have different purposes. And then you have Service Portal for end users, where they can raise requests, and you have a lot of role-based access controls in system. For example, if somebody has full access admin with admin rights, he can do a lot of things here. Somebody who has security admin rights, he can do ACLs, access control for others also. Somebody who has only approval rights can only approve, cannot actually work on tasks. Somebody who's a support agent can work on tasks also, incidents, problem changes, and other tasks also. Right? This is how the role-based access control is managed generally. Okay. Now, yesterday we had to leave a little early, so I'll just finish a few things which we could not cover yesterday. So, for example, this was a search we already saw yesterday, right? For example, if I search the word incident, then I'll get all the applications under. So first of all, did you see this? Yesterday we created these two filters. So these two filters are on the top of the search because they are favorites, right? And the way you can remove a favorite, if you want to remove any of a favorite, you can just click on this minus button. It will remove that particular icon from your favorites list. Now, the moment you type this incident, you have seen this incident application completely. And wherever the menu talks about incidents in any other fields, you can see incidentals, there is a word called incident. That is where everything came up in the search. This is the first level of search. Now, for example, if I want to just search here, this is called as global search. This is the most powerful search of ServiceNow. I mean, if I just want to find out, for example, I just want to find out something called email, right? A word, anything with this word called email. Now, can you see on the right-hand side, there are so many categories under which this email has been searched. First category is task. So this is the top most favorite thing because ServiceNow people generally work on the tasks. That is what the main purpose is for ServiceNow is, right? So wherever your incident subject or your description says this email word in the body, so you can see this here, right? Unable to connect to email, issue with email, email server is down, performance problems with email, forgot email password. So wherever the word email is there in incidents, you can see all of that here. Now, on the right hand side, you see a summary that where all do you find this word email. On this content frame, you see the entire description. So, for example, 11 incidents. These 11 incidents are here, right? Similarly, you have one problem. So you will see the problem here. Similarly, you have live feed messages 4. You will see them here, live feed messages 4. So these are policies. So these policies we'll talk about a little later in the game, but what I'm trying, this is more of a backend thing, which a ServiceNow end user is not supposed to check in. It is more about the administrators, which means the support team members who generally work on tasks, their search is limited to this level generally, either this level or people in places, or I can say knowledge catalog. This is the most important thing which they look at. However, if you are an administrator, which you would be after this course, most of your things would be here, because this is where you do the actual configuration. So you see this business rules, UI actions, client scripts. So this is generally done by developers. I mean, all of these things are done by developers, but you should know the basic configuration part, which we will cover anyways in our course where we'll have this platform scripting, this 19 number. Okay. We'll cover all of those further details. However, we will not go into scripting part as such because it is more of an admin course rather than a developer course. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you search here, and search engine is so powerful that it gives you everything in ServiceNow with that keyword. And it also categorizes things for you, for example, to make things easier for you. For example, you're just looking for a problem record in the word email. So you will just go here and you will just talk about a problem. You will not further look into anything else. You don't need to, right? If you're looking for a business rule with the word email, you just directly click in here. You will not look anywhere here. So this is where it categorizes searches for you. It indexes search for you and makes it more intuitive for you to consume what you want rather than seeing everything. But then, yeah, it gives you that information that, okay, where all do we have this thing present? This is one type of search. Second, it is what is global search, right? And then we have already seen this navigator level of search where things work. Now, there is one more, for example, if I go on incident here, right? And if I just want to see all the incidents, for example, and I click on all. And here also, I want to search the word.
Incidents are tickets, right?
Yeah, they are tickets. So we will cover all of that in the ITSM basics. Okay.
Okay.
We'll cover incident, but I'm just telling you. So forget about incident. Even if you go to any menu here and you want to search, right? For example, I want to go to this menu. I want to go to any menu, whatever I want to go to. It's my choice. It is all the list view which you are looking at here. We'll talk about it in today's class because that is the next topic anyway. This is list view, where you can see a list of records together in a particular format, right? Now, telling you this about the search part. For example, if I want to do a search here and I want to just search the word email, then all those things with email has already come here. Do you see this? This is how the search function works. We'll talk about lists and forms a little later in the game today, but we are going to talk about it anyway. Yeah. So far, so good on how do you search things. So I can even search it anywhere, right? You can search it here as well. So do you see everything with this planning priority has in the list? So this is a very wonderful search. Because see, the reason is all of these features are quite user friendly on a day-to-day basis. If you do not have these search features, grouping features, indexing features, things become difficult for you to manage. This is where things become easier for you to group by, to see what you want to do. We'll discuss all of that also further in today's class. Let me just complete the user interface part and then we'll go to that discussion about what all can you do with the list part. Okay. Now, if you remember, we talked about the user interface and there is something called system properties. Something called system properties. You can see this here, right? Everything under system properties. So because I have searched the word system properties, it is bringing me the entire application of system properties here. So whatever is inside. So how do you understand what is inside it? Because there is an indent here, right? So this is a top menu and everything inside this is the sub menu around it, right? This is what you call as application. This is what you call as modules. Now, when you look at system properties, how can you configure the user interface is very important. Now, let me just go to here, basic configuration. So this is again for a previous UI, which was before UI 16. As of today, ServiceNow generally works with UI 16. This is the latest UI they're working on. Okay. Now, do you see this? Just see this carefully. This is the first step which you generally take for any company. When you do the implementation, this is the first thing you expect. So do you see the service management here? This service management is reflective of this page header. This is the entire page. This is the header of this page. So if I want to just say ServiceNow instance for training, it would be reflected there. Can you see this reflected there?
Yeah.
Right. Now, browser tab title. Let me just put a training there. Now, do you see what should have changed with browser tab title here? Here things have changed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you can change this also. So this is where you personalize. This is where you personalize things for your company. Generally, these are things that are done by administrators. So that is why they're done for the entire company or a particular business unit. It is not done for individuals generally. Yeah, because it is done by individuals. Unless you are an administrator, you can do it. But then the moment you do it here, it will change things for everybody. So if I give you access to this URL, you should be able to see the same thing at your side also. So that is why it is a global change which you're doing right now. It is not for yourself individually. Okay, so it is very important. You should not be doing it in organizational level things unless you are told to do that. You are supposed to do PDIs just for understanding how things work. I mean, where do I need to make a change to reflect the change on the UI? That is the whole purpose we are trying to see here. Yeah. Now, system zone for all the users unless overridden in the user record. Now, user can also override the setting at their side. So it is a server side as well as a client side setting. I hope you understand these terminologies, client side, server side thing, right?
Yes.
Quite basic for IT industry. So, which means that you can set up a setting from here, whatever you want to. So you can configure available time zones. You can see whatever are there options. For example, if I just want to do for India, I can do it for India, right? I can do it for anything for that matter. The message I'm trying to convey that it can be written for a particular user if he chooses to select that particular time zone for himself. So you are setting up a property default for everybody. It can be overridden by the user at his client interface, but it will be only for him, not for everybody else. So generally, you do set up a property here. So depending on the organizations, for example, organization is based out of UK, you will set up UK timing. Organization is based out of US, you will set up US timing, right? So this is how it works. However, when people see the records, they can see their own time zone also. That is the possibility there also. So that generally, when you see this here, right? So this is your user level setting. When I click on settings, right? This is your user level setting. So any user, every user has this particular thing except part, because they're not developers, they don't have admin rights, but they can change things for themselves at this level. Compact user interface, compact list date time, keyboard shortcuts enabled, home pages, dashboard. So for example, when you directly launch ServiceNow, okay, let me just show you first that part. So right now, when you click on home page, what you see a home page one page, right? My home page one. And select anything from here, whatever kind of dashboard I want to look at. This is my home page. I can change this home page from here as an end user. I'm telling you, not as an administrator. As administrator, of course, you can change things for a lot of people, but as an end user also, you can change things. If I click on dashboards here, right, and I've done it. If I click again, it's taking some time. I think it should come up shortly. But then the homepage will change for you. It will not be that homepage, it will be a dashboard homepage. It is taking some time, I guess. I think, yeah. But do you understand the concept here, right?
Yeah.
You change that property, it will change things here as well. Now, similarly, you can change date time. And as I was saying, this is a user level setting. That was which we were doing. So see this, which has come in the back end. This is something which is dashboard view, right? The moment I log in, to the first page in that case. So depending on people's preferences, they can always change their homepage. Now, time zone you can set for yourself. You can set a theme for yourself. For example, there are so many themes, right? If I want to just select a dark now theme, see how will it impact things. Do you see this? Changes have happened.
Yeah.
It is completely user level setting. You can always themselves. Accessibility. But then, yeah, generally people don't do it. So where they do things is see show date and time format in field level. So there are a lot of things which are there. We will not go in detail for everything because they're not so much useful. Not everybody does it every time. So this is an important one. Related list loading and tabbed forms. When I say tabbed form, when you click on anything, it will open a new tab. Rather than a new window, it will open things in new tab, right? That is one thing. Second thing in this one, which is where sometimes things really matter, related list loading, that generally you click on incident form, you, for example, if I just click on demand, okay, let me show you what the existing behavior is. So right now the situation is with the form. Do you see this? With the form. Second option is after form loads. Third option is on demand. So if I go here and if I, for example, open any incident form, you remember we talked about yesterday what is the difference between a form and a list. This is a list view where you see the overall records. And if I click here, so I am looking at, this is the form level view, right? So what you see here by default is, this is called as related list section. This is automatically, it is automatically coming right now, right? I didn't do anything to display this information. Now, if I were to go back to my settings and if I click on demand, okay. If I do on demand here, and if I now go to any incident, do you see it is giving you option of load related list. So now it is up to you whether you want to do it or not. So that is where it becomes on demand thing. Now, if I click on it, then I will see those lists. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about, let me go back to the main thing, which is system properties. So we were here, right? So we talked about all these things, service structuring, we did this. Now this is where you can change the banner image. So you see this image right now here, I can change this image, my own company's logo, just select from my desktop if I have an image, and I can change it there, it will change the image. This is the date format. This was time form, this is date format, YYMMDD. So you have all those options, right? You can select anyone.
So when you change it, it's going to get reflected globally.
Yeah, see, whatever you change in system properties will reflect globally. Whatever you change in settings will reflect individually.
Okay.
You understand the difference? So this is system properties, which we need to change for everybody. And you don't have access to properties unless you are an administrator. So you will have access only if you are an administrator and you are changing it for everybody here. Whatever you are doing from here, it is only for yourself.
Got it.
Right? So they've given you, they've kind of configured the options accordingly that people should not be messing around with the system, just on their whims and fancies. Right. So this is the time format. So you see hour, minute, second, hour, minute. I mean, there are multiple types of format here, right? So we can do this. This is where you have these, if you've done some kind of HTML, these are some indexes, which are used for the colorings. So if you see here, right, if I select any color, did you see this? It changed here. If I select this one, it changed again. If I select this one, it changed again. Can you see this happening?
Yeah.
This is header background color. Okay. You can change it as per what you want. And the moment you select it, this hex code automatically comes. This is a global hex code, right? Which happens for every web interface wherever you have this option of changing the color code. So it is a universal thing. Now banner text color. Right now banner is in, see this. If I want to make it maybe, did you see it changed the color here? ServiceNow instead of reading, it became black. Now if you want to make it red, it became red, right? So you just need to understand that. And one more thing, when you do things from here, it just gives you, it is a temporary save. Unless you click on save here or you click on save here, it will not permanently save things. So it is important. It is just giving you preview that this is how it will look like if you change it tomorrow, right? So if you want to save that change, then you have to click on save. See this, it says press save to make permanent changes. Yeah. So that is how you have a lot of, we don't need to go to everything here, to be honest, but then these are the very common things which are there to understand it. How do you change colors? How do you change banners? Because this is very important things when you implement it for any organization. This is the first thing they expect you to do. Okay, I need my own branding. For example, they will need their own, for example, it is UBS, Credit Suisse will need their own name, UBS ServiceNow or something of that sort, right? Or this is also important to tell you one thing. Now, if you remember, we talked about this browser tab title and page header caption, right? If I have multiple instances, if you remember yesterday, we talked about that ServiceNow is a multi-instance architecture, right? Which is the latest technology in the market in terms of architectures. So which means that you will be given multiple instances. You will have dev instance, you have QA instance, you have UAT instance, you have prod instance. So just to separate things from each other, you should put the name of the instance here. It is dev, only for development work, test only for testing work, non-prod only for non-prod test, UAT testing, prod only for production work. So this is where it will exclusively tell people this is dev, so they can see it upfront on their eyes. This is where value of this thing becomes very important. These are the real use cases which you need to do when you actually do the job. Okay, they'll tell you, okay, make it right at dev instance. For example, I've written ServiceNow for training, so I know it is for training only, right? So this is where you can change a lot of things here. Header, stripe, banner text, navigation header, footer, text. So you don't need to go into everything right now. You're just seeing anything which is more important than this. I mean, yeah, then we are. And base theme, you can select the theme also. You can change the theme also if you want. Just clicking on maybe Cobalt. So theme will change now. Properties updated. Things have changed a little bit. This is generally people they don't change theme as such generally, because it is not a very different view, to be honest. If you see, right, it's not a very big change in that perspective. This is something which are system properties which we need to do, right? Now search favorites we talked about. Now, in fact, if I just show you something called, there is a concept of guided setup. So for the first time, when you actually do ServiceNow, as I said earlier also, that the first thing which people generally implement in ServiceNow is ID service management, which is incident, problem, change. And this is the first thing which generally people do, right? And the good part about this guided setup is that you have a guided setup for every single module or every single product separately. For example, customer service, you have a separate guided setup. For example, App Engine, you have a separate guided setup. For package deployments, you have a separate guided setup. So for everything, you have a separate guided setup. You can see this. There are so many, right? Performance analytics, workspace experiences. Everything has a guided setup. So if you do not know about it, just believe on service, trust on ServiceNow, and start using things. Get started, for example. And this is where it shows the entire progress track. You see this here? 0% complete right now. And this is where you need to move further. If I click on get started. So this is again 0%. This is what we are actually doing just now, actually. Get started. I've clicked on get started again. Did I click on it? Okay. And now it is asking you system configuration, configure, and you can skip it. You can add your notes. You can mark as complete. You can also assign this task to somebody, that this task has to be done by this person. So an email will be sent to him automatically. Okay. Now, when you click on configure, it will actually take you to the same properties which I just was talking about. Did you see this?
Yeah.
As branding exercise. This is called as configuration for branding, which we just did.
Yes.
Already, but then this is how also you can do it. Because if, for example, if somebody asks a question, okay, what is branding? And you are confused that I have not learned branding. How do you do branding? This is where branding, you go to system properties, you change the company's logo, you change the names, you change the colors, you change everything. And this is where you do the branding thing. This is a welcome page. You can change it as well. Welcome page section. This is right now. This is more of a scripting thing, to be honest. So I will not go much into that. But you have an option to write a new welcome page section. You can see what is required there. But you can see this is more of a scripting kind of stuff here, right? So we'll not go much into that. But then what I'm trying to tell you is that you can configure a lot of things if you have those rights. And this is what you do as a part of branding exercise. And this is what you call as guided setup. So for example, if I just want to tell you a high level, so this is where it will tell you the indicators that, okay, this task has been completed. This task has not been completed, right? Something of that sort. So example, if I read get started, and if I go here, and if I say it is marked completed already, right? Mark is complete, done. If I see, so you can see the status has been changed. 1 of 2 tasks completed. Similarly, 2 of 2 tasks completed, it will be 100%. So now this portion has been made as ticked, that this part has been completed. Now you can do, so you just need to do one by one, and you can forget, you can move further onto that. Now this is connectivity. So there are so many things which you have to set up. I am not going into all that right now because that will take a lot of time. But this is what you generally need for setting up service. Now this is the branding part. Second is the connectivity part. You define the email settings. We'll define how do you authenticate the people in ServiceNow, whether we are going to use LDAP integration or SSO integration, single sign-on, are we reading it from Active Directory? So all those user information and emails also. So any inbound, outbound emails have to be configured here. Connectivity. So we'll talk about that in our further chapters. Foundation data. I mean, all the foundation data of users, groups, departments, companies, locations. There are so many things here. Right? Group members, roles, all of that is done here. This is a very basic stuff which you, so just assume a fact. If a company says that I just want to onboard ServiceNow out of the box without doing any customization, I just want to use the process as it is, I don't need to do much things there, and all you have to do is to run this guided setup, because it will fix everything for you quickly. So if you just do it, then in one day flat, you can get, if you have, I'm just assuming that if you have all the information handy with you, that you already know email properties, you already know LDAP integration properties, you already know SSO integration properties, and these are given by the organization, client. This is not something internal, right? This is all given by the client. right? All of this department, locations, companies, users, so they will tell you from where will you read this data. Generally, this data is read from the Active Directories. Then you have CMDB, right? The data for much servers, databases, all of that you can populate here. So these are some basic steps which people have to do. Then, because it is ITSM guided setup, that is why they're talking about incident management, major incident management, problem management, change management, block knowledge management, CIM, project communication. So this is how we can go live actually in ServiceNow. It looks so easy, but then yeah, you need to understand everything, how it works in the back end, right? For example, if I just want to do this, I need to know how do I do that. But then this particular guide gives you a good amount of idea that how do you do it. Okay, so this is where if you do not know anything about it, you just start things from here, and this is where things become easy for you, because it will tell you step by step that these are the 10 things you need to do to make sure that you are on live environment and your system is all enabled, right? This is the important part we just talked about. So, and then this is where it'll tell you the status indicator. This is completed, connectivity, foundation data, CMDB. So this is what people generally ask the questions. Okay, as a system administrator, what all do you do? So you can do all of these things. As a system administrator, you're supposed to do all of these things on a day-to-day basis. You're also supposed to manage it on a BA level. All of these things, right? We talked about. So I will not talk much about it right now because it is more of ITSM specific. So you see incident management problem. So till here, it is not specific to ITSM, because for any product to be set up in ServiceNow, you need to do these 3 or 4 things at least. I mean, company, connectivity, foundation data, CMDB. This is all common. After that, it becomes specific to ITSM, incident, problem, change, and everything, right? So if you go with ITOM, it will be something different: discovery, service mapping, event management. So that is how things will change, but few things remain same at the top level. Does that help? Is it?
Yeah.
You see you? Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Or is it kind of overwhelming?
This is actually good. I'm understanding this. No issue.
Okay. Perfect. So let me go back to this was the general interface system properties guided setup, which we generally do. Now let me tell you list view, which I was talking about. Now the same, we'll go to the same menu because it's easy to refer to the same thing again and again, because otherwise you'll get confused. Okay. So this is if I go to problems, if I go to changes, the view will be same. The only thing is you see these fields. So when I say view will be same, which means features are same, that all of this will look like this. However, the headers will change depending on the module. For example, here you see this header. When you go to changes, you might see a few more things here, because for changes, we need some more information also. For problems, we might need something else here. So only the header will change, but the view will remain same. This is first thing. So we are talking about list view right now, which is very, very important, because generally on a day-to-day basis, this is where you actually spend your time quite a lot to find out. So search thing we just talked about. For example, if I just want to search this one and I know the number INC 0010002, then can you see this? This incident has been reflected already, right? It has been searched. Now I can search it based on whatever I want. For example, here I think we've talked about already. We just search for email. Even for the user, we can search. So all of these are searchable fields. Do you see this here, right? All of these are. If something is not searchable, it will become gray out here. Okay. Now this is first thing. Second thing, very interesting about this view. And I think I told you already about the favorites, how to create a favorites from here, right? We clicked here and we created a favorite. That is something you've already learned, right? Now, a few more interesting things. For example, if you want to do some kind of analysis on this particular list view, how do you do that? So for example, if you want to do a grouping by caller, the person who is calling to raise an incident, you can do a group. See the options here, right? First option, sort A to Z, which means I want to sort the results on the caller name alphabetically in the increasing order from A to Z. So you can see this here. Everything will be A, B, C, D, all of that sort will come. Right? Common sense thing. No, not a very rocket science here. Now, if I go here, sort Z to A, of course, it will take things in the reverse order. Now, just see one by one. I'll talk about the visual task a little later in the game, because that is a very interesting feature and a little longer. group by caller. What will happen? Do you see this? Now, if somebody has 5 records, it is in one single row for him. Now you can see, okay, I want to see his 5 records. These are all 5 records assigned to him. This is where you do the group by features. This is where, because I have used system like multiple times in the past, right? I've been using it for a long time now. So these things really help you on a day-to-day basis. You can do group by priority, for example. If I want to do a group by priority, I can do this group by priority. I can see, okay, there are priority 1 incident 27, high, priority 2, priority 3, priority. So this is where these things do help you in real time. Let me tell you a few more things here. Now, let's talk about this bar chart. We will not talk about launch interactive analysis right now, because again, it is a little longer game. We will take it in the separate session. For example, bar chart, which means you are able to create runtime graphs on the data without putting it anywhere in the system. Just click on right click, pie chart on this particular field, or bar chart on this particular field, you'll find it out. Just see this, right? You've got the data in the bar. You just can see the sensor report immediately to anybody. You can share it from here. Save first and then share it after that. You can configure. We will talk about how do you configure the reports later on. That is not the topic for today. So this is do the and I'm telling you in terms of that everything is done on ad hoc basis. So this is all runtime. You just want to do a runtime report here right now. Okay, Fred, which means Joe employee has 12 tickets. Fred Ludi has 10 tickets. He has 8 tickets. So you can immediately see who has more tickets here, right? That is the kind of view it gives you. And you can just send this graph to your team. Just look at it. Now, configure. Now here, we will not go into detail because all of these are actually detailed discussions which we'll do little later. But this is where you get the power to configure this list view. You can change the list layout. You can change the calculations, control, table. We'll go into that a little later because these are all advanced topics. We'll not cover them right now. You can also do import. For example, if you want to import data externally, I mean, from external sources, you can do it from here. You can export it here, right? In Excel, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF. So export sets, all of these options are there. So generally you do an XML export import when you want to migrate data from one instance to another service instance, right? Or it depends on the source. If you just want to see the Excel report, you can just export into Excel. That's it. Update selected, update all. Now here, if I select a priority 1 item, for example, I select this one, I just select these 1, 2, 3, right? And if I just do update selected, I can update those incidents that, okay, I just want to update maybe priority as 3. So for those 2 incidents, priority 3 will be updated. Can you see this? Total records updated 2, right? So this is where this bulk update. No, I'll tell you, there are a lot of tools I've worked upon, right? And this is a very interesting feature which you actually use in day-to-day life. Bulk update. Because without this, you have to update everything one by one, which does not make any sense, to be honest, right? So I'll not go into much of these options right now because they're again advanced options. You will not be able to understand them at this point of time. But yeah, this is how you do it. For example, if I now ungroup it, let me ungroup this, which means I'm seeing things. Now, if I want to just select this and I click on shift, I have on the left hand side, I clicked on shift button and I am just clicking on the down arrow key. And now I can just do it quickly. I've just double clicked it. It is showing you the 5 rows will be updated, right? So I'm just changing the priorities of these things. So I can do it from here as well. Okay. So this is where the power to bulk update only those things which you now. This is what you have seen already. Now let me show you some more interesting features in list view. So far, so good. Any questions on that part, which we just talked about?
No.
Perfect.
I'm fine.
Now there is a concept of show matching. For example, if I just do this, I want to see all the records which are assigned to this particular person. I just click on right click, show matching. Okay, so it shows all those results. Now I remove the filter once again and I go to all. If I want to exclude, sorry, you had a question?
I just have a question. If you just click on that survey user and drag that to search, it's the same, right?
So you're saying if I copy paste this number and put it here,
No, not the copy paste. Just click on, drag
so
the
it will take
name
you to
to.
it will take you to the record of the user. So it will take you to survey user record actually.
Okay. Because the other day when you showed something called drag,
That was not here. Okay, so drag, when you say, I'm talking about one is this drag. When I click on shift key on my mouse, sorry, on my keyboard, and I am doing this. This is one drag. Second, I told you that, okay, for example, if I just want to do something assigned to this guy, let me just tell you. Show matching I've done, right? Now, if this is where I click on this and I drag it here.
okay.
Can you see this here?
Yeah.
This is how the drag features work. It is for creating favorite.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about, I think I was talking about this part. Yeah. Matching we have already seen. Now, if I want to exclude the results which are assigned to this user, there is an option of filter out. Can you see this filter out? So if
yeah.
If I do this filter out, it will exclude the results for those two users. Right? I want to filter out further. This is where you generally, when you do analysis and troubleshooting, and as I said, it is a now platform feature, which means it works for every single list view, whatever is there in this platform. So right now, you may not be able to see the utility, but just imagine the facts. You are just searching, debugging some logs. At that time, you just want to show matching, filter out, all those things. They really do matter in terms of narrowing down a search, in terms of troubleshooting also, right? If you want to just find out what are those top 5 items I am always bothered about, something of that sort. So those kind of day-to-day optimization things, improvement things do really matter here, right? For example, if I just filter out. Now I can also do assign to me. So right now they assign to Rick, and I can just say assign to me. Maybe I don't have permission right now. That is why it is not, because it is closed. That is why it is not asking to assign. For example, this one should be able to assign, I guess. Okay, so I don't have those rights right now. Assign to users to member. I am not a part of this group. This group, if I'm not a part of this group, I'll not be able to assign the ticket to myself, right? That is, so it works in that use case where you are a member of a team of 20 people, 10 people, and then you are seeing only your records, right? Your team's records. And now you want to take something in your queue. At that time, it does help. Okay. Now, if I go back here, if I just click on all, a few more interesting things. Do you see this here? There are so many options. Now I can change. This is something which is set by system administrator for everybody by default. Okay. I can change it for me personally as a user. So I want to see one more thing called actual start and actual end date. And I just want to keep these two fields a little higher in the game, somewhere here. I do this. So you can see this actual start, actual end also came up in the picture. So I can configure this list. I can personalize this list all by myself. There is no point. There is no problem with this. Now, interesting part here to look at is, do you see this? There is a dot here. As a dot, which means it is a personalized view only for yourself. This is where you understand quickly that this is a personalized view versus it is not a personalized view. Okay. So if you have not personalized this view, then it does not show you anything. Then it is all good. Now, for example, because you are reset to defaults, for example. Now there is no more dot here, and I have those fields have been removed. Can you see this back? Right? This is interesting part. Now you can search things here also. This is also a search. For a particular application, this is also a search. You can search things here also. For example, if I search with the word here, it will search across all the fields. And I can change the field here also. Do you see this?
Yeah.
This is also an interesting search feature here. So this list view is very interesting. Actually, the more you go into this, the more you learn things. The more it becomes further interesting, right? Now, if you remember, I was talking about one thing. Just simply configure list layout. Just click on configure list layout. I'll just tell you one part here. So I was telling you, this is the system administrator has set. That is why you are able to see all these fields by default. If I set something here, then these fields will become default. Then it will not be a personalized view. So at that time, when you selected these two fields, you actually selected it for your own interface. Now you are doing it for the entire company in the same view, because you are system administrator. That is why you have the option of configure list layout. You see this? This is interesting stuff. You will not get all these options of configuration if you are a normal user. You will get this option only when you are a system administrator. Now see the interesting part. You still have these two fields here, actual start, actual end, but you do not have the dot here because it is not a personalized view, because you have changed the default view itself for everybody. So now everybody who's logged in the system will see this view. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Okay. Now here also you can do, there are so many views set up. Do you see this? There are so many views you can set up in system, and these are all out of the box. So for example, for major incident, there's a different view. For if I go to here view, and if I click on mobile, is a different view. You see this? So this is the view which we will see on your mobile app. If you remember, I talked about Now mobile app or Agent mobile app.
Yeah.
You see that kind of view. These four options only, not everything else. You can change views. We'll talk about it a little later in the game when we talk about list layouts and all, design and everything. Right? As of today, this is enough for us. Filters. I can create my own filters, and I can edit my personal filter assigned to me, for example. This is a filter assigned to me, but there is nothing assigned to me right now. So that is why there is nothing coming up here. Right? So group by, you can do a group. So at that point of time, you were able to do group by only on those fields which were visible on the headers here. Right? Now here you can do a group by on any field which is on incident form. So many fields are there, right?
Yeah.
10 rows per page, 15 rows per page, whatever you want to see, refresh list, date, favorites, all of that. Generally, we go to default views. So this is where your list filter, list part comes into play. Now, I think you still have 5-10 minutes left, right? We can just talk about a few more things here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your filter. And now if I just want to change the filter dynamically, I can do that also. Right now, you can see that everything which was assigned to me, system administrator and active tool is now I'm saying, forget about assigned to Alo. I don't want this filter. I want a different filter called active is true and priority is high. I just want to run this filter, and I run this filter. I got the filter records, right? This is one thing. Second thing is, this is natural language filter. So if I just want to say, this is a natural language filter. I want to put things myself, right? State is in progress. I can just say this. So you'll see everything which is stated in progress automatically. This is natural language filter. It all automatically converts your statement into a logical backend query. So we did not put this state equal to in progress in the filter from here. We had just used natural language query, and we just used the word in our own language, and it automatically picked up a filter. This is an advancement in recent releases. It was not there in previous releases, but it is an advancement in the recent releases.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. This is also very interesting part about the natural language queries. And we talked about list filters, talked about list personalization. Yeah. Filter searching sort. Right. Now, if I just want to show you a few, so I'm not going into form layout and design because that will be a longer duration thing. We will cover that tomorrow because we have time only for 5 more minutes. So I'll just show you a few more small things here just quickly. So let us see this, right? This is just in any form. Just imagine any form right now, because every form looks like this, that it will have some fields in the form, right? and it will have some additional sections on the form like this, notes, all this section, and then it will also have the history, the entire activity history. It has related records. It has now because it is incident, that is why it is resolution. So for every different product, for every different application, this menu will change, but notes generally remain common across everything. And this is where you have the related list section. We just talked about it some time back. Whatever comes here at the bottom is called as related list. Just understand this. This is called as related list. This is called as related links. So you can see this here. These are related links, which means you can use this link to do some additional tasks for this particular incident. Okay. And this is just understand this concept also. Work notes. If I'm writing, hi, this is test take, right? And I'm just clicking on post. So it became as work notes, and it says work notes. Do you see this here? Now, if I use this particular thing, addition, the moment I change this additional comment, I check this box because it is a customer visible thing. So this is where it becomes really important. Sometimes you just want to, for example, a ticket is circulating between multiple teams and they just don't want to show those comments to the customer. Then what will they do? They'll just put it in the work note section and it will not be visible to the customer. If they want to make it visible to the customer, this is where they'll put it here, additional comments. And the moment I select this work note field has changed to additional comment field. This is test customer comments. Now see the difference. Here it was saying that we published work notes, and here it is saying we published additional comments. These are two different things in ServiceNow, which are generally asked in an interview also, that what is the difference between work notes and additional comments. Okay. And we talked about it. This is a little list already. There are multiple things here. We will talk about it a little later because today it will not be finished by that time. And if you see here, this is I button. So wherever you have a reference field, so this is the reference field. This is a reference wherever you have the search box option, which means that the record is there in system already somewhere. You are just referencing that record to here. So the moment I select anything in that field, it will always give me this I icon, which means you can preview this record also. If I click on preview this record, it will take me to that record.
Okay.
Do you see that this is a record which is getting impacted because of that incident? So far, so good. Similarly, any reference field where you have search box and the value is filled, you see the icon here. For example, here there is no value filled right now. So maybe I can fill a value. There is no, okay, no record here. Let me see if I can. Maybe I just selected this value. Now you can see this. It came up as view this record. So you can record, you can see this record now, complete record. See this. Right? Now this is the dependency views, which means what are those different elements of infrastructure on which this particular service is dependent. If I click on this, it will open up a graphical view. But this is dependent on these servers, these data. We'll talk about that in detail in CMDB discussion. Do you see this here? So this application is depending on so many things. Windows server, databases, computers, and web servers, app servers, so many other of minor services. This is the dependency view. But this is just a very high level understanding because in CMDB, we'll cover all of that in quite a lot of detail. So we've covered the user interface completely, and we have covered the branding part, guided setup, system properties also. We had covered complete list views done. Configuration is also understood. Filter, searching, sort, NLQ, everything we have understood, work notes, additional comments. So tomorrow we'll talk about forms because that will be a bigger topic in itself. Okay. Any questions you have? I'll just give last 2 minutes.
No. At present, I don't have questions. And at by evening, you'll be uploading that YouTube video, this YouTube video, right?
Right. So yesterday I could not upload it. So maybe I'll try to upload both of them together today itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I hope moving. I mean, you have to do. The only thing is you have to do some practice in system also, because if you do not do it, then this will become a theory for your you might forget it. So I know you are a little busy, but then just try to spend some time. 15 minutes also a day is enough just to browse around things and see how it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you very much for your time, and I'll stop the recording now.